The Pimax Super 57 PPD optical engine is here, and this thing delivers retina level clarity like I've never seen before. But is clarity alone enough to make it the best choice for sim racing? In this video we're jumping into iRacing, putting the 57 PPD through its paces with quad views, checking out performance and comparing how it stacks up against the 50 PPD and the ultra-wide models. By the end you'll know exactly why this might be the best optical engine for you. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive in.
Play it on Pimax.
We're gonna take on the world. 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 We're gonna take on the world.
Black Friday is here, and the VR legends at Pimax have dropped some incredible offers. Right now the Pimax Super and Crystal Lite are at their lowest ever prices, and when you use my code NLSimgaming you'll get an extra discount on the Crystal Lite or free shipping on the Pimax Super, or even a free 12-month iRacing subscription. It's honestly one of the best deals I've ever seen from Pimax, and you'll find all the details in the video description, including a short buyer's guide video if you're deciding which headset to go for. Alright, let's fire up iRacing and see exactly what the 57 PPD optical engine can do. This time we are back, and we are back in iRacing, and we are in the 57 PPD optical engine. And I know what you're thinking it was literally a couple of weeks ago when you did the video and you said that the ultra-wide optical engine is the optical engine of choice for sim racing. Well, you'd be correct, because there are two types of sim racers. There are sim racers who want the highest visual quality and of course the highest immersive factor, and there are sim racers who obviously want a far wider field of view. And I've got to say that the ultra-wide is a fantastic experience, and literally I took the ultra-wide optical engine down to a fellow YouTuber who's known as Mac in VR. You may have seen his channel, and if not I'll link him down at the bottom of the video so you can check that out in the video description, and also there's a picture of Mac's channel just there in the bottom corner of the screen as well, so you can recognise that one. Really great bloke, and he tried the ultra-wide optical engine and absolutely loved it. He thought it was absolutely fantastic, and I agree. But why am I gravitating repeatedly back to the 57 PPD in racing simulators especially? Well, of course we have the benefits in racing simulators of being able to turn our head round and have a complete look around and see what's going on. So in this I can see the left mirror, the top mirror, the right mirror. I have actually all mirrors enabled in this, and that in itself would normally have a massive impact on performance in virtual reality, which obviously is not something that we want. I'm also recording this on the same PC, so I'm using OBS, and I'm recording in high settings, and that would have been an unknown previously in the Pimax Super, so it's testament as well to the updates in Pimax Play and also the NVIDIA drivers as well that make this possible. But the Pimax 57 PPD has a couple of tricks up its sleeve, and this is an interesting choice for users who want a Pimax Super but perhaps don't have a 5090 or a 5080 for example, and believe that they may struggle to run some titles on the ultra-wide or the 50 PPD. But the main party trick of a 57 PPD is this is truly a retina level optical engine. This looks absolutely stunning. It really does. It is absolutely amazing. And for me, being a bit of a hog for visuals, I am constantly drawn back to this optical engine. not only for the visuals but also the performance is absolutely fantastic as well. Now generally I don't really struggle for performance, obviously having a 5090, and a lot of users criticise us as YouTubers saying, okay, you have a 5090, and you know, we're not going to get that. But iRacing is a really interesting title for a number of reasons. So in this, as well as getting 90 FPS at 90 Hz in the Pimax Super 57 PPD here, which is an absolutely fantastic experience as well, it is also utilizing a feature that iRacing is actually quite unique to have, which is the quad views, which is essentially foveated rendering. And the Pimax Super has amazing eye tracking technology by Tobii, who you may or may not have heard of. Now, Tobii make the Eye Tracker 5, you may have heard of. I actually have a Tobii Eye Tracker 5 on my desktop. I use it for Euro Truck Simulator 2 and generally use American Truck Simulator in virtual reality. But it's incredible technology, it really is. Now, to have that in the Pimax Super, the same technology, is just absolutely incredible. The eye tracking is so fast in the Pimax Super, and if you want to see that for yourself, in Pimax Player 1.43, which is the new version we are on, there is a calibration tool, and it is just so rapid, it's so incredibly quick. And I can't even see the foveated layer on this at the moment, it's that good. Now, of course, having 57 pixels per degree is incredible, and it's 33% higher resolution than the Pimax Crystal Lite or the Pimax Crystal OG, to give you an impression as to what it's like. Of course, you can't see what I'm seeing through the headset at this time, so what I will do, as I always do now, is I've actually taken some pictures of the replays in iRacing, and I will actually put those on the screen so you can actually see the through the lens shots as well. You know, this is just absolutely beautiful. So iRacing has you pretty covered in terms of performance. Now, many users are actually reporting as well that even with GPUs such as 4070 Ti's, etc., that they are getting the same levels of performance using the quad view functionality, which is relatively new to iRacing, and I just wish more simulator titles would utilize this sort of technology that's now available in these high technology, high resolution VR headsets. But I believe that this is enough now to lure away multi-monitor and ultra-wide users, because it has done for me. I actually prefer playing in virtual reality on the Pimax Super now. It's just absolutely incredible. It really is. The feeling of immersion in this is just like nothing else. I've got the Next Level Racing HF8 haptic seat going here, and I feel almost like I'm wearing a helmet playing this. The field of view, just to get the elephant out of a room here, if I use the ultra wide and I look directly forward, I can see the left mirror and maybe a couple of inches to the left of it. If I'm using the 50 PPD, I can see the left mirror, and if I'm using the 57 PPD now, I can see around half of the mirror. But that's not majorly an issue, because I can just turn my head slightly left to have a look at the mirror in full. And remember, I'm also able to display all three mirrors because I'm using the 57 PPD, and the reduction in field of view gives enhanced performance from reducing the overhead to the GPU. So it's a little bit of a trade-off really, but I think it's a trade-off worth considering if you want the very best in visual clarity. And another thing to mention as well is that this has a higher stereo overlap than the 50 PPD and the ultrawide as well. Now, stereo overlap obviously is the depth perception in the actual VR, and you obviously want the best depth perception in virtual reality. You know, I can really just see everything into the distance, everything is crystal clear, the trees, the foliage, you know, everything is absolutely amazing, like I've really never seen it before. And I have to say, I just said wow when I started using the 57 PPD, and I sort of gravitated towards the ultrawide because I'm largely a sim racing fan. And then I've come back to this because it's just such a wow factor every time I put this on. I really do get that. It's a really interesting optical engine, and one that will appeal to many because of numerous factors. The primary factor being obviously the increased levels of performance, which can be quite hard to reach in virtual reality, as we all know. I actually was recently introduced to Race Room, which is a sim racing title, and again, thanks to Mac and his Discord users for introducing me to that. But one disappointment of Race Room, it's a fantastic simulator, I have to say, and I actually played it on flat screen, which is something I haven't done with any titles in some time. And in virtual reality, unfortunately, we're getting around 60 FPS, and Mac commented he had the same issue. Now, an interesting finding was that using the ultra-wide module at Mac's place, we actually got 72 FPS at 72 Hz, which is actually playable. But on Race Room, for me, with the 57 PPD, I was getting in excess of 70 FPS again. It's really the only playable optical engine for me that I've utilised. I haven't tried it actually at 72 Hz, the ultra-wide on Race Room, since coming back from Mac, so it's something I do have to do to explore that a little bit more. I don't tend to use 72 Hz mode, I'll be quite honest with you. So there are trade-offs, there are benefits to each optical engine, but these visuals are just addictive, they really are that good. And of course these visuals obviously carry across quite nicely to other games as well. And if you want to see Half-Life Alyx like you've never seen before, my god, you know, it looks absolutely unbelievable in the 57 PPD. So, iRacing, I tend to opt in and out of iRacing because I have a monthly subscription on it. It costs £12.99 a month in the UK on Steam, and I don't normally get as much use out of it as I would like, so I tend to, if I'm involved in other projects or just don't have the time due to the day job, I actually tend to unsubscribe from it. Now I unsubscribed for it for around 6 months, and I came back to a completely new UI, this amazing quad views technology that I've never been able to utilise because I'm not a flight simulator person, so I've never really had the opportunity to actually try it. Came back to that, and you know, this is just getting better and better, it really is, and I must say I do love the Nürburgring experience on here as well. This is one of my favourite tracks and I absolutely love this in this incredible Porsche 911 GT3. And also I've actually recently got some Moser load cell pedals as well and upgraded to the R9, and it's just out of the box, it just works. The load cell pedals are fantastic, a real huge upgrade from the SRP pedals that I used to have. So iRacing is very well catered. That's £12.99 a month I just mentioned. It equates to obviously quite a lot if you translate that to a yearly subscription. The Pimax Super is obviously an absolutely unbelievable headset, as we've already said, but if you are thinking about getting a Pimax Super, if you use the link in the video description, Pimax are doing a Black Friday event where you can actually get a year's subscription and free delivery using my discount code, as it's already explained in the video description, and I've actually also included a buyer's guide separate video that I produced within the video description as well if you want to check that out and explain all the current offers, explain the buying process in a bit more detail rather than bogging down the main video with it. And what I will do is I will update that frequently so you can get the best idea of obviously what is available as well. But there really hasn't been a better time to buy a Pimax Super because of this incredible offer, I would say. And also remember, this is hot property, this headset. Coming up to the festive period, you'll be very lucky to get one in time for Christmas if you don't obviously get in the queue soon and basically take advantage of this incredible offer. In this session I'm using Pimax quad views inside iRacing. Now if you've never tried quad views before, it's a form of dynamic foveated rendering. That means the centre of your view, exactly where your eyes are, focus stays pin sharp, while the outer edges render at slightly lower detail. It's designed to mimic how your eyes actually work, and thanks to Tobii eye tracking built right into the Pimax Super, the transition between sharp and peripheral areas is completely seamless. You don't even notice it, but your GPU definitely does. And the result? Less GPU load, higher frame rates and noticeably smoother experience, especially if you're on a mid-range graphics card. So how to enable quad views? Getting it running is super simple. In Pimax Play, open the General tab, scroll down, enable eye tracking and calibrate it so it's spot on. Then make sure that Pimax Play OpenXR is your selected launch option. Next, jump into iRacing, launch in VR OpenXR mode, go into the settings, then display, and under VR settings, under Foveated VR mode, select eye tracking. If you want to double check it's working, you can toggle the show eye tracking. You'll see a small cursor following your gears. Once you've confirmed it's working, just turn it off again. And that's it. Quick setup, huge performance benefits. For me, it's been one of the most impressive VR upgrades I've tested in years. Thanks so much for watching. If you're thinking about picking up a Pimax Super or a Crystal Light, check out the buyer's guide video linked below. You'll also find a brand new Pimax help channel on my Discord where I'll personally help you get the very best out of your setup. If you found this video useful, give it a like, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Take care, drive safe, and I'll see you on the track.